Hi everyone, my name is Perry Yee, and we'll be looking at my informal learning project for EDTEC 671 entitled Press Start to Continue, A History of Video Games. In this presentation, we'll be looking at the design for an exhibition to be held at the EMP Museum. The EMP Museum, located in Seattle, Washington, is a nonprofit museum that takes a more contemporary and modern approach to the traditional museum concept by showcasing innovative exhibitions inspired by contemporary popular culture. The museum is known for using technology in its displays and attempts to engage visitors with interactivity. Exhibits that have been featured in the EMP cover a wide array of popular culture themes. In fact, the EMP is home to the Science Fiction Museum and Hall of Fame. The EMP Museum was chosen as a site to host this exhibit due to its contemporary look at popular culture, including video games. In the past, the EMP has hosted a few exhibits based around video games, including a recent exhibit titled The Art of Video Games. This particular exhibit serves as the inspiration for my informal learning project, as it showed that video gaming and gaming culture could be presented and accepted in a museum concept. In this project, we'll be taking visitors on a tour through video gaming history, starting with the early era of video gaming all the way to the present day. The Press Start to Continue exhibit will address the EMP Museum's needs for an interactive exhibit dedicated to video gaming history. The exhibit will be able to provide a rich history and detailed accounts of video game software, equipment, and it will also highlight the rich cultural history behind video gaming. The exhibit will also address the museum's need, as stated in their mission, for risk-taking and culturally significant exhibitions. This exhibit will also be aided by its design, as it will use the video gaming medium itself to present the informational content to the visitor. As the EMP Museum is located in the heart of Seattle by the Space Needle, many tourists will be in attendance, and, as such, the audience will be weighted toward a general population. However, due to the nature of the EMP Museum, its patrons tend towards a younger demographic. Regardless of age, the exhibit will have broad appeal for children and adults alike. The exhibit will address two key learning objectives. First, visitors will be able to correctly identify three different eras of video games when given an interactive gaming assessment. The interactive gaming assessment will occur about midway through the exhibit, then again through a free mobile game available to visitors. The second objective is to increase the number of visitors to the EMP Museum by 10% while the exhibition is in operation. We hope that the broad appeal of the exhibit will bring in a wider audience for the museum, and feel that an exhibit focused on video game history will attract specific demographics interested in video games. Press Start to Continue will meet the needs of the museum by providing lots of interactivity through its displays and video game interactivity stations. In fact, the exhibit will utilize video games as a method of instruction, tasking users to use video game controls such as the arcade cabinet's joystick or home console's controller pad in order to manipulate the video on the displays. The exhibit is also culturally significant in the fact that the gaming industry is quite lucrative, and video gaming culture has become an accepted and celebrated part of today's society. Additionally, the entire exhibit is focused on immersing the visitor into the gaming world and highly emphasizes audience involvement. As previously mentioned, the exhibit is designed for the audience. Visitors are encouraged to interact with almost every display in the exhibit, including learning about games through gameplay itself. The exhibit presents this type of meta learning by having gamers learn about gaming through games. The entire design of the exhibit is made for the visitor to travel through the eras of video game history. However, once the visitor reaches the end, they are also given a free promotional code for a mobile game available through iTunes or the Google Play Store in order to continue their education about the exhibit and video games through their mobile device. Technology is incorporated throughout the exhibit. Video displays located in each era detail the history and cultural impact during said era. As I said, actual video game control schemes are used by the visitor to manipulate these videos. During different sections of the exhibit, custom-made interactive games are available to play. These games assess the user on different types of content, including identifying different eras of video game history. In addition to these custom-made interactive games, the exhibit and museum will partner with video game console and software developers to have popular video game titles available to play for visitors. These titles will emphasize the transitions from each era as new video game technology becomes more and more sophisticated throughout the journey. And upon exiting the exhibit, museum staff will provide patrons with a free promo code good for a mobile game designed specifically for the exhibition. This helps to continue audience education outside of the exhibit itself. Let's take a quick look at the exhibit design layout. Here, you'll see the main design of the entire exhibition. Users will start at the 1 marker and continue progressing through different eras of video game history in chronological order until they reach the 8 marker and exit the exhibit. Let's take a closer look at each era. Upon entry, museum staff will greet visitors and provide them with 6 usable tokens. Visitors will be instructed to use these tokens at the end of the hall in the arcade room. Visitors then walk into the first section of the exhibit dedicated to early video game history and modeled after an old-timey penny arcade. There will be multiple displays that contain video detailing the earliest conceptual video game programs, equipment, and important historical figures in the video gaming world. Replicas of equipment from this era will be available for visitors to touch and see. Any real equipment obtained from this time will be presented in glass display cases. Visitors will enter the next era modeled in 1970s design. There will be video display walls featuring video content and gaming equipment such as the Magnavox Odyssey console. The biggest display will be a wall-to-wall display of Pong. Visitors will be able to play a large version of this game using paddle controls similar to the game's first iterations. The next era will feature a room modeled after a small video arcade with 6 arcade cabinets. As all machines will be functional, visitors will be instructed by placards and signs to use their 6 tokens in this room. 3 machines will provide popular games such as Pac-Man, Space Invaders, and Donkey Kong. The remaining machines will feature custom-made interactive games available for play. These games will assess visitors in the content in previous eras. All informational displays in this era will be presented through gameplay on these arcade cabinets. Visitors will next enter the home gaming area, which is modeled with home decor from the late 1980s to early 1990s. There are 8 small carrels on display where visitors can sit down and interact with machines such as an Amiga, Commodore 64, Atari 2600, or Nintendo Entertainment System. The information displays will be given on screens directly connected to these machines, which allows the visitor to manipulate the video through either the console's or the computer's controller pad. Visitors enter the next era modeled after the late 1990s and early 2000s. 3 arcade cabinets will be located in this era, though 2 will be out of order. The remaining arcade machine will feature informational content on the decline of the video arcade during this era. On the other side of the room, next-generation consoles such as the Sony PlayStation 1 will be on display and feature interactivity similar to the previous era. Another large video display will be available to give a general overview of history during this time, including the rise in popularity of home consoles and popular video game titles and characters throughout the era. Visitors enter the current era of video gaming with completely working and interactive equipment. Consoles such as the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and Wii U will be on display. Each system will be located in its own separate corner and have displays for informational content and another interactive display for playing current gaming titles. In the last corner, video displays will cover mobile gaming, a brief history of smart and mobile phones, the cultural impact of mobile gaming, and popular titles in the genre. As visitors exit, museum staff instructs them to deposit any unused tokens into a container before exiting. Staff will also provide patrons with codes that can be redeemed online for a free mobile game based on the exhibit. The game will follow a similar structure to the presented custom-made interactive games that the visitors experienced in the arcade section. Assessments made through the mobile game will also be tracked in a similar fashion to the earlier interactive game. And that's the basic design of Press Start to Continue, my informal learning project about the history of video games. Thank you for reviewing my proposal.